Hey guys, it's Kelsey and I'm back with another design team layout for Festive Friday. So this one is for Girl Scout Week. You can see there the list of 10 items. We had to pick 3 of these things to play along. I think I ended up getting 5 of the 10 things on this layout. I really enjoyed this one. I love the inspiration, I love the colors. So I really went a lot with the color inspiration items, but I did get a couple of the other things on here too. I'm back with Pink Paisleys Outfitters. That was a 6x6 paper pad that Lisa had sent me. I told you guys I had been hoarding it for another like camping, hiking layout, but I don't have any photos I know of coming up, so I figured I'd go ahead and use them for this. This is going in Bennett's baby album. It was my mom, so Bennett's grandma's birthday weekend, and we went to the Atlanta Botanical Garden. So I have these 4 photos from that. You can see my sister and my mom in a couple of those photos. So Becca, my sister, is Bennett's mom, and then of course we have our mom. So we all went together. It was a lot of fun, but I figured I would do a grid layout. I knew with having these 4 smaller photos and having a 6x6 paper pad, I really had a good opportunity to really get through a large chunk of this paper pad by doing all these different little layers around these little photos. So you can see I pulled out a bunch of scraps I had from it, as well as some sheets I had pulled out and I didn't use on a previous page. And what you can see here is my 4 photo quadrant, and the idea that I'm going with for keeping my patterns and colors balanced is I'm just going to be using the same papers on each photo that's diagonal from each other. So you can see that dark brown wood grain I put on the upper left hand photo and the bottom right hand corner photo. So now I'm going in with this mountain paper. You can see I'm backing that mermaid in that, and then I will also go back with the scrap of that and do the upper left hand corner. So you'll get the gist of it, but this is what I would really like to do with my grid layouts, especially when I have like a grid of 4 photos like this. I love kind of just mimicking what I do with one photo with the adjacent, is that the right word? The one that's a diagonal from it. That way everything stays balanced, and that way I'm keeping the same style of layering around each photo, because I want them all to look similar but none of them to look the same. So that's my goal. Now that I've layered those 2 photos a couple times, I'm going to go in and layer these other 2 photos with the same pattern papers a couple times. I'm trying to do a little bit at a time so they each have about the same kinds and types and sizes of paper layers around them, but that they all each differ in little ways. So I love this process. I have a lot of fun layering like this, especially when I have smaller photos in a 6x6 paper pad to use. And then you can see the puppy sticker sheet in the bottom left hand corner of the screen. I've pulled that out exclusively for this really sweet little badge that says adventure with me. I thought it was so perfect. It has that green that's in the photos, and it is a badge shape, which is one of the inspiration items on that list since it is Girl Scouts week. So I was like, you know what, I still have this badge. When am I ever going to use this? Like, there is not in any other time I've ever had a challenge to use a badge shape. So I am getting that one on this page. You can see I've also already got brown and green and blue, which were 3 of the other items. So already I have 4 things from the inspiration list that I have planned to get on here. 3 of which are already on here via the pattern papers. So I'm going to layer these a couple more times. I think I'm almost done with my layering. I haven't even contemplated the background yet. I do not have any 12x12s from this collection, but I figured they're kind of neutral outdoorsy papers, so I should be able to find something. At least I hope I will. You can see I just pulled in 2 glassine bags to layer in the those 2 photos that are across from each other. So again, trying to mimic the same types of things on those adjacent photos. I'm thinking there'll be something else that I add that's similar to the other 2 photos. I think I'm trying to figure out my background now. Maybe I probably should have thought about this beforehand, but I was too excited about doing my layering that I just, started layering the paper photo mats and didn't think about anything else. But I'm back with this paper pad my sister had got me from Christmas. I love this paper pad. It has a lot of neutral papers in it, lots of wood grain, lots of marble. Then there's some that have some really nice foiling on it. I thought at first I'd go for a wood grain, considering, this is a botanical garden, very naturey, outdoorsy. I thought wood grain was appropriate, but none of the wood grains in this paper pad were really matching the wood grains I had already used from this collection. I'm sure it would have been fine and I could have made it work, but I kind of like what I ended up coming with instead better. I liked this one. It looked kind of tiley. There's a lot of like tile and brick patterns and stuff in these photos, so I thought it would be cool to pull something like that in. But then I came across this marble paper. I thought it was really nice and simple and neutral, and I liked the fact that I could then take that tile look I liked from a different page and make it myself with these inks. So you can see, I think Jennifer sent me this little stencil in some Happy Mail, and I figured I could use my Distress Oxide through it to get that tile look that I liked from one of the other pattern papers. That way I could kind of customize it and make it a little bit more, I don't know, like add some layery detail to the background. So you can see I'm just trying to line up the stencil to get a bigger area, because of course that's only a 6x6 size stencil. But I'm just using some Tim Holtz Distress ink. I think that one's called Vintage Photo, just to create that cool little texture in the background. I know I don't want to do a whole lot with these photos. One, because the photos are already small, but also because there's 4 photos that already have a lot of little layers around them. So I want everything else to be pretty simple, but I just thought this marble background was too plain, so I really like having this detail in the background. So I'm gonna get all of that done. I think I go in later with a different stencil and then a darker brown ink. The other brown ink is called Frayed Burlap. So I'll layer a couple of those inks up in the background, and I like that kind of mixed media-ish look that it gives me. And I kind of created the background myself a little bit. Yeah, so there's that one. And then did I go in? Yeah, I think about that being good, and I feel like I need to add a little bit more. But I have these cute little photo corners. I thought I'd add them to a couple of these photos in different corners just for a little bit of detail, another little layered look. I only had 3. One of them is missing. I know it's in my stash somewhere and it had fallen off. But I just decided to put one little photo corner on 3 of these little photos, just have a little something, a little detail. And then I also decided to go ahead and get these puffy stickers on here. So I decided the upper right hand photo and the lower left hand photo still don't have a little special something. The other 2 already have the glassine bag. But I know I wanted this puffy badge on here, and there was also this green little canteen. So I put those on opposing photos. And then there's these cute little tags that I think Ronnie sent me. So I'm going to, well, Lisa sent me that one, but I ended up going with a different one. But I'll end up layering those little tags behind those little puffy stickers, and I like that detail too. So the thread that came on them was just a little long for the tiny little detail I wanted, so I ended up fighting a little bit before I just finally took my scissors and cut it off. But you'll see me cut that twine a little bit shorter so it's more proportional, and then I'll get that tucked behind there. But yeah, I just want to build a little bit of detail. I don't want a whole lot more going on. Excuse me. But yeah, I like that. I like that everything's staying balanced. Whatever I do to one photo, I do to the opposite photo, and I really like how that helps the page come together and stay semi-symmetrical. And then here I'm back with another stencil and another ink, just to add another layer of this mixed media. And then I will go in with some gold Heidi Swapp color shine at the end, because I end up pulling in a few gold elements. So that kind of completes the mixed media between the ink and the mist. But I just want to do a whole column of these dots down this page. I thought it looked really cool having this darker ink over this other ink. I thought it just was a nice little touch, and I really like the fact that I customized my background paper that way. I've been really inspired to do more stuff like this since I've taken Sarah Scrap's mixed media classes. We're still in it, actually. It's not done yet. But I've been having a lot of fun customizing and making my own backgrounds, so that kind of helped me, inspired me, I should say, to do something like this. But playing around with those photo corners again. And I think I'll glue them down soon, but I definitely want them over more to the right side of this page. And then you can see I pulled in my leftovers from Felicity Jane's Harper collection. There's this floral I didn't end up putting or using during the month I used that collection because there was orange and green in it. But they're orange and green in these photos. So I thought it would be a great way to pull in this floral that I didn't get used up last month. So I'm cutting that into 2 pieces and having that coming out from the cute little tag where those puffy stickers are. So I really like that detail too. I thought it went so well with these photos. And I had so much guilt about not using it when I used the Harper collection that I feel redeemed now that I got that on a page. There's also 3 little orange epoxy hearts that I had left over from that collection. So I go ahead and get all 3 of those on here as too. So I'm really happy about that. I just put one of the orange hearts on the little canteen and 2 of them up there by the badge. So those are balanced across the page as well. But I'm super happy it got some Harper on here because I was really mad about about not using those that month I used that collection. So and then here's another little doily. This one's from Ronnie. So I'm cutting that into 2 pieces to have that layered up behind those little clusters too. So I think that looks really nice. It's going to complete my clusters and my embellishment actually. I wanted to keep this one a little bit more simple since there is this inking going on in the background. There's all these little layers going around the photo. So other than adding these little strips of wood grain washi to each little cluster or each little photo in a little section, that's pretty much the embellishment. So I do want to do a title. This was, like I said, for my mom's birthday weekend, so I decided to go ahead and just label it Grandma's Birthday. This is one of, I think, 3 layouts of the the Atlanta Botanical Garden for Bennett, so there'll be other pages talking about the Botanical Garden, but I wanted this one to be labeled that it's Grandma's Birthday, so that kind of goes with the birthday sentiment. That was another one of the challenge ideas or inspiration things, so that makes 5 that I got on here. If you guys really like these challenges, I'm really excited about all of you that have commented that said you guys are wanting to play along, so that's awesome. I will link everything in the description if you guys want to enter the challenge. There's a blog and a Facebook post or a Facebook group and all of that. But Miranda Webber also is a YouTuber that is doing this challenge that does scrapbook layouts. A lot of ladies do cards, but me and her do scrapbook layouts and are on YouTube. So if you like these, you can hop over to hers. I'll link her page below to see what she ended up doing with this challenge. But yeah, I decided to add that little bit of gold, and then after I did that, I added some Heidi Swap Color Shine on the diagonal just to emphasize and bring that gold into a couple other places. But other than that, I'm done. So there is my layout. This is for Girl Scout Week. If you guys want to play along, again, I will link everything in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.